There is a picture that most people have in their minds when they hear the word warrior. Someone aggressive, someone loud, someone who is always ready for a fight, someone who wins by overpowering everyone standing in front of him. But after more than 15 years of coaching fighters, teaching self defense, standing in corners, watching men break under pressure, watching others stay calm while chaos surrounds them, I have realized something. The strongest warrior in the room is rarely the loudest one. He's actually the quietest. Not because he's weak, not because he's afraid, but because he understands something that most people never learn. Every battle has a price, and not every battle deserves your energy. Listen to this again. Every battle has a price, and not every battle deserves your energy. Welcome back to another episode of the DKing Combat Podcast. I am Saad, founder of DKing Combat System. Today, we're talking about something that completely changed the way I look at combat: leadership, business, relationships, and life itself. Not because it's the most violent martial art, actually, because it might be one of the least violent. Today, we are talking about Aikido. Now, before anyone starts typing in the comments, no, Aikido doesn't work, this martial art beats the martial arts, that's not today's discussion. This is not about comparing styles. I have trained in striking, I have trained in grappling, I have trained with resistance, I have coached fighters. Every art has strengths. Every art has weaknesses. Today is not about techniques, it's about philosophy. Because sometimes a philosophy can change your life more than a technique ever could. One of the biggest mistakes people make is believing that strength means domination. That if you are stronger, you should prove it. If you are smarter, you should let everyone know. If someone insults you, you have to answer. If someone challenges you, you have to accept. If someone disrespects you, you have to fight. Really? Who made those rules? Because from everything I have experienced, that's exactly how weak people think. Weak people need to win every argument. Weak people need the last word. Weak people can't sleep unless they are proven right. Weak people mistake reaction for courage. Strong people. Strong people choose, and choice is power. Imagine standing in the middle of a river. If you fight the current with everything you have got, eventually you will become exhausted. The river doesn't hate you, it is not attacking you. You are simply fighting something bigger than yourself. Now imagine a professional kayaker. He does not stop the river, he reads it, he moves with it, he redirects around obstacles, he understands timing, he respects momentum. The river has not changed, his relationship with the river has. That is one of the biggest lessons Aikido teaches. Stop trying to stop everything. Start learning how to move with reality. Because life does not care about your plans, life keeps flowing. The question is, will you learn to flow with it? Or keep exhausting yourself trying to control everything? Let's talk about ego. Because ego starts more fights than fist ever do. Somebody cuts you off in traffic, immediately your heart rate increases. Someone criticizes your business, now you feel attacked. Someone ignores your message, now your mind starts creating stories. They don't respect me, they think they are better, I'll show them. And suddenly you're fighting a battle that only exists inside your own head. How many times this happened? How many hours have people wasted thinking about conversations that never happened, including me? How many friendships ended because nobody wanted to be the first one to apologize? How many businesses collapsed because partners choose ego over solutions? How many marriages broke because winning the argument became more important than protecting the relationship? Sometimes your biggest enemy is not the other person. Sometimes it's not outside. Sometimes outside people or other person is not your biggest enemy. It's your own inability to let something go. Remember, what's the biggest part of healing? Let the things go. One thing I have noticed after coaching hundreds of people is that confidence and ego look similar from far away. But when you get close, they are completely different. Ego says, I have to prove myself. Confidence says, I already know who I am. Ego needs recognition. Confidence needs purpose. Ego reacts. Confidence responds. Ego is loud. Confidence is calm. Think about the best coach you ever met, the best leader, the best teacher. Did they spend every minute telling people how great they were? Probably not. Because real authority does not need advertising. People feel it. The same way you can walk into a room and immediately know who the leader is without anyone saying a word. Presence, not performance. Presence. One Japanese concept that's often associated with Aikido is the idea of meeting the movement fully, not half present, not distracted, but completely aware. Most people are not living in the present. They are fighting yesterday or worrying about tomorrow. Meanwhile, today keeps passing by. Have you ever driven somewhere and realized you don't even remember the journey? Well, I did that a lot, so many times. Your body was driving, your mind was somewhere else. And I'm 100% sure it happened with all of you, including me. Now, think about how many conversations you had without actually listening. How many dinners where everyone was staring at a phone? How many prayers where your lips were moving but your heart wasn't present? Presence is becoming a superpower because almost nobody practices it anymore. And the warrior who's fully present will always see opportunities that a distracted warrior misses. There's a saying I love, you cannot control the wind, but you can adjust your sails. If you remember, there was this small kid, this video went really viral, that the kid is saying, you cannot control the wind, but you can adjust your sails. And the kid was really young, and when I saw that video, I was surprised that he understood at very young age that you don't have to fight the wind. You just need to adjust the sails. You don't need to change your goal. You just need to change how you are trying to perceive it. That is not weakness, that's wisdom. As coaches, clients cancel, people disappoint you, plans fail. Businesses slow down, injuries happen, and as a father, your children won't always understand your sacrifices immediately. As husbands, communication won't always be perfect. And as leaders, people will criticize decisions they don't fully understand. If every unexpected event destroys your peace, then your peace was never yours to begin with. Real inner strength is maintaining your direction even when circumstances change. Because storms are guaranteed, there is no way that you will not face any storm. It's guaranteed. But panic is optional. It's basically saying that it doesn't matter what happened to you, but it matters a lot how you reacted to that. The greatest warriors in history were not remembered because they never faced adversity. They were remembered because adversity never made them abandon who they are. That's the difference. Anyone can stay calm when life is easy. The test of character comes when everything around you begins to fall apart. When your business slows down, when your family is going through a difficult season, when someone betrays your trust, when your body gets injured, when people underestimate you. Those moments don't create your character, they reveal it. One of the biggest lessons I have learned from martial arts is this: when someone pushes you, your first instinct is actually to push back. But if both people keep pushing harder, nobody moves forward. That's true on the mats, it's true in business, and it's true at home. Sometimes the strongest response is not move more force. Sometimes it's changing the angle, changing the conversation, changing your perspective. If someone is angry, you don't always have to match their anger. If someone wants an argument, you don't always have to give them one. If someone insults you, not every insult deserves your attention. Walking away is not always surrender. Sometimes it's strategy. And there's a huge difference. It happened with me also. I was training myself in the gym. I was just doing the weights, like resistance training. And one guy standing next to me for 5 minutes, I thought maybe he needs to use the machine. I said, "Yeah, bro, you want to use it?" He's like, "No, I want to fight with you." And I'm like, "Huh?" That was my reaction. Like, I have never seen that guy before. I don't even know who he is. And he's standing there waiting to fight with me. I'm like, "Bro, I do not fight. I'm just training." And then his answer was, "No, no, it's okay. Let's try. There's a ring there. Let's go fight." And I just start smiling. I said, "No, bro, I don't know how to fight. You go fight with someone else." And I just smiled and continued my training. And he stayed there for a few minutes and then he left. Now imagine this one. If instead of smiling or laughing it off, I start getting angry, then there will be a big fight for no reason. Okay? Because he didn't do anything wrong with me and I don't even know who he is. So there's no point of doing any reaction and creating a big fight. So that's a huge difference. A warrior who walks away because he's afraid has surrendered. A warrior who walks away because the fight has no value has already won. Know the difference. Now you understand my story. You do not have to fight every battle present to you. Now, as a coach, we see this all the time. You can't force someone to change. You cannot force discipline. You cannot force consistency. You can teach, yes. You can guide, yes. You can inspire, even, yes. But eventually, every student has to make a decision for themselves. The same applies to leadership. The best leaders don't create followers, they create people who can eventually stand on their own. Leadership is not about making people dependent on you, it's about making them stronger because they met you. If someone leaves your team, your gym, or your workplace better than when they arrived, you have done your job. That's leadership. I've also learned this as a father. Children don't remember every lesson you teach. They remember how you made them feel. They remember whether you kept your word, whether you were present, whether you listened, whether you showed patience when it was difficult. The same applies to everyone around us. People may forget your advice, they rarely forget your character. That's why working on yourself is never selfish. The stronger, calmer, and wiser you become, the more peace you bring into the lives of others and to you. There's something else we often overlook. People think peace is the absence of conflict. I do not believe that. Peace is remaining grounded in the middle of conflict. Anyone can smile when everything is going well. Can you stay respectful when someone insults you? Can you stay disciplined when nobody is watching? Can you stay humble after success? Can you stay grateful during hardship? That's a different kind of strength. And in my opinion, that's the kind of strength worth chasing. As a Muslim, we're reminded that true strength is not measured only by physical ability. The Prophet Muhammad ﷺ taught that the strong person is not the one who overpowers others in wrestling, but the one who controls himself when angry. Think about that. The greatest victory may not be defeating another person, it may be defeating the version of yourself that reacts with ego, pride, or uncontrolled anger. That's a battle you'll fight for the rest of your life, and it's one worth winning. So, today, I want to leave you with one question. What battles are you fighting that you no longer need to fight? Maybe it's an old grudge, maybe it's proving yourself to people who have already made up their minds. Maybe it's chasing approval. Maybe it's carrying guilt that you have already learned from, or maybe the fight is happening inside your own head. Whatever it is, ask yourself one simple question. Does this battle make me stronger, or is it simply draining my energy? Because every unnecessary fight steals time from the battle that actually matters. Protecting your family, building your character, growing your business, strengthening your faith, serving your community, becoming the person Allah created you to be. Those are battles worth showing up for. Everything else is just noise. Always remember, every human on this planet is basically same. We all go through different battles. We all have same feelings. But how and when you react and when you control, that's what makes you successful or make you destroy your own life. So always choice is yours. Thank you for spending these moments with me. If this episode made you stop and reflect, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Not because it's my podcast, but because someone out there might be carrying a fight they no longer need to carry. Until next time, train your body, discipline your mind, protect your peace, lead with humility, and remember, a true warrior is not the one who fights every battle. A true warrior is the one who knows which battles are worth fighting. This is Saad from DKing Combat. Stay strong, stay humble, and keep becoming the warrior the world needs, not the one your ego demands. I'll see you in the next episode.